Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Roses, and this is a remake of The War of the Roses, and based on the novel by Warren Adler. This is written by Tony McNamara, who has written quite a few Yorgos Lanthimos films, directed by Jay Roach of Austin Powers and Meet the Parents fame, and this stars Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch as a couple, a tinderbox of competition and resentments underneath the facade of a picture-perfect couple is ignited when the husband's professional dreams come crashing down. And this film, you have Benedict Cumberbatch playing an architect, and his whole life gets shattered. He winds up having to become a stay-at-home dad, and Olivia Colman plays a chef, and her life just starts skyrocketing. And it's just them being both terrible people. And never should they have had kids or had a relationship together. Nor should they be married. But, you know, we spend a whole entire movie with them trying to figure that one out. And this film, I'll first and foremost say, this is a legitimately hilarious movie. Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman have such great dynamic and chemistry with each other as performers that every time they send this passive-aggressive zinger or this or that at each other, it hits. It really, they're able to find this like caustic wit about them and bring McNamara's words to life. And you have a lot of fun supporting characters like Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon are both very funny. I think Kate McKinnon gets a little, I think the shtick goes a little too far at times, where it's just like, I don't really find this funny anymore. But you have Ncuti Gatwa, who plays one of Olivia Colman's workers. He's very funny anytime he pops up on screen. I really enjoy Sunita Mani, who's not necessarily a funny character, but like I just enjoy her presence and stuff. And then you have the dynamic of like Zoe Chow, who is one of Benedict Cumberbatch's colleagues, and you have Jamie Demetrio. Their dynamic as a couple is really messed up, and you even have like Allison Janney, who is barely in the movie, but you know, it's Allison Janney, and she just brings an energy to the table. This film is really smartly written from a comedic standpoint, and it has plenty of laughs, and Roach, I think, does a really fine job of cultivating those laughs. But he also finds a few moments for this film to really dig into something deeper, and I feel like what's frustrating is you have those singular moments in this film that do reach a little deeper. There's a scene with a whale involving Benedict Cumberbatch, and there's a lot of emotion there, and I feel like the film struggles to dig deep enough and to really explore these. It takes a very basic look at like, these two were just terrible, and you know, every time they make the worst possible decision to keep this tension going. And there's so much more room for this film to explore toxic relationships in a much more meaningful way. But instead, it just keeps going for like the cheaper laughs. And then it just turns into like a Tom and Jerry, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner cartoon of just ridiculous contention after a while. And it loses a lot of its bite in that way, and all the way up to its rather explosive ending that just feels like it's shocking for shock value. The film leans way too much into shock value instead of really trying to explore this relationship. And sure, it's fine, like it doesn't have to go deeper, but the thing is, you're tackling really significant themes about marriage and relationships and parenting, and the resentments just open the door for more zingers and laughs, and never enough to really dig deep into the themes of the film. The kids become an afterthought, which is kind of frustrating, honestly. And where this is a fun ride where I could certainly see myself coming back to it and enjoying it. And it has that like sleek kind of feel that just has this picturesque relationship, but there's so many horrible things underneath the surface here. I just wish the film dug a little bit deeper underneath the surface and really explored these challenging human experiences, but instead it just leans into like going over the top with it. But Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman just nail it. But they tip their hands of like how much deeper and emotionally resonant this film could have been because the performances are so great. It just leaves you wanting more, honestly, from a thematic standpoint and a character standpoint. But it'll certainly give you plenty of laughs and some shocking twists and turns along the way. But those are my thoughts on The Roses. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.